What is that one trick that they really don't want you to know? Serious. I once lost the ticket I had received when parking my car at the airport. Upon leaving, I was told that without the ticket, they'd have to charge me for a full day. Which was fine, since I'd been parked there for a week. Edit. This was in Denver, and it was several years ago. I discovered it by accident. Haven't attempted to do it on purpose since, and have no idea if it would still work now. Oh. I like this one. But there has to be a way for them to check this quickly, right? The ones at my local airport all use cameras and number recognition software. My ad manager tries to lie and they showed him a time-stamped pic of the car entering the garage. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers are just melamine sponges. You can buy them like 10 for $1 on eBay. Now this is very useful to know. Over here one of those Mr. Clean sponges costs about $3. Definitely a saving if you can get 10 for $1. Melamine sponges. Or you can get 100 for 5.57 ebay.com link and CHN equals PS and LPID equals 82. When buying a car, negotiate the price of the car, not the monthly payment. People are usually more concerned with what the monthly payment will be and are often ripped off. It's easy to do the math with an interest calculator if you have a roundabout idea of what your rate will be. This is exactly why I wasn't a very good car salesman. I would get someone ready to buy a car and I would watch my manager piss away my commission all the while ripping off the customer. Not really my idea of a win-win deal. How would the commission be pissed away at the same time that the customer was ripped off? Bulk vinegar can replace a lot of cleaning products. Edit. I should add that you water it down. Pure white vinegar is corrosive. I eyeball a ratio. But there's actual recipes out there. I love cleaning with vinegar. If you put in a little lemon essential oil, it'll mask the taste too. I'm assuming you mean the smell. Unless there is some vital final lick under the rim step I have missed all these years. Most of the dulling that occurs with cartridge razor blades is not a result of shaving, but rather water being left to evaporate on the blades. I've been using the same cartridge for the past 8 months by running the blades upwards, that is, opposite the direction you would when shaving, on a towel 15 times after rinsing it off. Then blowing on it for a few seconds. 8 months later this blade still barely pulls at all. I have a small mason jar half filled with rubbing alcohol that I swish the blade in after I shave. That drives the water off the blades and when I put the shaver down, the alcohol then evaporates. Didn't reach your record. But I had a blade cartridge last 5 months. Cleaning the blades with alcohol before using them can cut down on some sorts of skin problems because it kills anything on it before you use it. If you bought something at a store and it goes on sale afterward but the store says they do not do price adjustments, buy another one and then return it using the original receipt. Within reason. I once had a customer buy a patio set for $300 at the beginning of the season. 4 months later, she see we put the last set on sale for $75 and insisted we refund the difference to her. My manager very politely told her no. She then wanted to return the set and get a full refund, probably hoping she could buy it back at $75. Yeah. It needed the all-important within the refund period, which tends to only be 30, even 15 days on a lot of non-perishable items. You're probably using too much laundry detergent, shampoo, and toothpaste each time you use them. But my laundry detergent comes in capsules. These two drugs are the exact same thing. imga.com link. But the allergy medicine on the left costs 1/2 as much and has twice as many doses as the sleep aid on the right. Edit. Since many have asked. Yes, they are both 25 milligrams. See comments for verification. My mother insists on buying Tylenol PM instead of generic Benadryl for occasional sleeplessness. I've explained to her 1,000 times that Benadryl is cheaper and isn't loaded with a bunch of Tylenol which she doesn't need anyway. If she insists on it, it might be working better for her, because she thinks it does. If you want to cancel your hotel room last minute, but there's a cancellation fee. Call and change your reservation to a few weeks later. Then call later and cancel it. Call around midday to change. Give a legitimate sounding reason, meeting rescheduled, misremembered the flight date, etc. This will, hopefully, ensure the agent doesn't make a note in the internal only notes field. Call back to cancel at least 8 hours later. It's unlikely the hotel has agents on 8+ hour shifts. Source: I used to work at a hotel. Stay date changes are rare. Even for my hotel, which was BioHair. And send up red flags. You want one employee to handle the change and another employee on another shift to handle the cancel. Hotels are notoriously awful at inter-shift communication. Don't most hotels now make a note about when the original reservation was? The note would defeat this schedule change then cancel trick. Some things are never really on sale. When I worked at a grocery store, the name brand sodas had a very high regular price. Then there would always be a sale on them. The sale might change at times, but the sale price would always be there. The sale price is what the company really meant to charge you anyway. After all, who wants a case of soda for $8.99 if they can buy it at $5.99 and save $3? I have heard that some department stores do this with clothes and other items. A $90 dress that is on sale for $55 was never going to cost $90. Here in the UK this is regulated and businesses are only allowed to advertise a product as being on sale marked down on price for a period less than it was sold at the full price. For example, if they sold a box of cereal at £2 full price for 30 days, they could advertise it as on sale at £1 but only for 29 days, at which point it wouldn't be allowed to be called on sale anymore. Edit. Lots of response so thought would link to the UK government's pricing practices guide for traders and also the Consumer Protection from Unfair Trading Regulations 2008 too. How does DFS get away with constant sales? Do they like rotate their stock on sale every month or something? Like have half their sofas on sale one month and then the other half the next? Browse incognito to get past a paywall news website. Only works where you are allowed X articles per week. Incognito is the news stealing your neighbor's paper off his driveway and then throwing it in the trash. They might not want you to know, but they don't really care either. It's a porous paywall model. They know people can get around the paywall easily, but the hope is that some of those people eventually become subscribers. In NIT's case, they have something like over 1 million digital-only subscriptions. And the model has been working quite well for them. Just keep in mind it costs money to produce the news. If you can afford it, you should consider subscribing to a news outlet you like. Trial by written declaration. It's listed on most ticket citations, however most people do not take advantage of this. An officer forced to show up for trial gets overtime. An officer forced to sit at a desk and write their side does not. If the officer does not respond, you get off scot-free. If they do and you lose, you can request a trial de novo. And then show up in person. If you follow this full process and are polite and professional, even if guilty, you are quite possibly likely to receive a lesser fine sentence. Only applicable in the following states: California, Florida, Hawaii, Indiana, Louisiana, Nebraska, Ohio, Oregon, and Wyoming. I worked at a traffic court and this is true. If it's a traffic ticket and it's not some outrageous offense, plead not responsible and show up for the time scheduled for you. Chances are very high, especially in a time where officers are so tightly scheduled, the officer will not show up, and in that case, the case will either be dismissed or you're likely to get a much lower fine. Another one is we had a log we kept track of when people called to inquire about their ticket before the court date. And if the ticket doesn't come in by then, the judge could dismiss it. And if it did come in after or just before the date, if their name was on the log, it was dismissed. Otherwise we kept them on the docket in hopes they would take care of it. So if you get a traffic ticket, call the court and ask that they log that you've called to inquire about that. Log the time and date and clerk's name you spoke with so you have your own proof. Still show up for court, but having that info can really help. Signs that say not responsible for damage are usually put up by the very people who are responsible for damage. A $40 sign can nip a lot of lawsuits in the bud. Learned this in my law class. Same goes for not liable for lost or stolen goods. I don't know if they don't want you to know about this, but here we go. If you're going to make a purchase with an online retailer, it's often worth putting the items in your cart, then leaving the site for a little while, because some sites will contact you with a special offer or discount code in an attempt to persuade you back into making that purchase you were going to make. Can save you a few bucks. It doesn't always work, but it's often worth attempting, especially with solely online retailers. Notable exception is Amazon. Anytime you order from Papa John's, use the promo code ARP25 and get 25% knocked off the subtotal. Works everywhere. Every time. I usually get 50% off or more. Look up your store on pizzacodes.com. Also join Papa John reward system to get a free pizza every time you spend $100. Happens a lot faster than you think. And if you want codes to get sent to your email, get added to their email service. They usually have half off deals all the time, especially during sporting events. I haven't paid full price on Papa John's for years now. Happy savings. Edit. Format. Edit 2. It has come to my attention that this advice doesn't work well for our Canadian and UK brothers. My advice to you is to skim through your area's pizza place Twitter or Facebook page for deals. Edit 3. I think the web age has been absorbed by retail, me not. RIP. Economy size is not always the best cost per weight volume use. You will also find some stores that print the cost per weight volume in different units for different sizes. Same size packages by weight or count may have a different number of servings, so check that as well. Not a problem in the glorious EU. Price per kg displayed by law. Live in the UK. Supermarkets have the price per litre for all alcoholic drinks. Really helps when you're trying to work out if buying one large bottle is actually cheaper per litre than 2 small bottles. You can file a complaint with the FCC if a telecom company jerks you around, and you'll get the results you should have to begin with. Consumer Complaints FCC Gov link. I used this when AT&T charged me local taxes and fees for a state I hadn't set foot in for 14 months. I painstakingly crafted a Google Doc of every single penny and called them and asked for a refund. They told me that they can't refund taxes and that there was no one I could escalate to, and offered me a one-time refund of $25. I filed a complaint with the FCC and a few days later got a voicemail from executive customer support asking for a callback. I didn't even bother and got another phone call where they told me they were calling about my letter to the FCC and refunded me every goddamn penny and fixed my account. AT&T are lying ducking scum. But they're still the FCC's beach. Ex-AT&T wireless customer support rep here. I have no idea what those taxes and fees and shit are. We were just told to always say there's nothing you can do. And if customers were especially irate, we'd offer them one-time credits of $25 or under. Or possibly minor plan changes, free nights, weekends. Also, the system gave us a number value for every customer. If you were consistent in paying high bills and feeding the company money without ever calling in or upgrading phones, you'd accrue more money for the what I can offer you rebuttal. But if you were a consistent caller on a cheap $30/month plan, you'd be lucky to have $10 available. This of course was over 10 years ago. One of the worst jobs I ever had. Fun fact. After that job I put off getting a cell phone for myself for 6 years. Too many horror stories. I was basically of the opinion that if you're willing to pay, cell phones are great. But if anything goes wrong, be ready to buy an entirely new phone. And maybe even upgrade your plan an extra $10/month. Best comment of the day. Every day listen to a certain song before going to bed. Over time your brain will link that song to the act of sleeping, and it will be much easier to sleep at night. That's how lullabies work. That's also the reason your alarm clock gives you Vietnam flashbacks when you hear it in daytime. According to my experience, the song shouldn't be too short, at least 2 to 3 minutes. You can listen to it multiple times. If you have to, it shouldn't have any vocals. If it has vocals, it should be in a language you don't know, it's even better. If the song has a nostalgic value for you. My personal favorite is Portal 2, Karamira Dio, the song from the turret opera scene.